Before we dive in, let me ask you something real. Have you ever walked into your lab, nodded at your lab mates, sat down at your desk, and felt like you didn't exist? You hear the hum of machines, the clack of keyboards, the occasional cough, but no real words, no connection, just silence. And you wonder, is it just me? Is this normal? Or have I somehow disappeared in a place where I spend most of my life? You're not crazy. You're not alone. And this silence, it's not how it has to be. Today I want to talk about how we as grad students, researchers, and human beings can build a more positive, connected, emotionally healthy lab environment, even when it feels like nobody else is trying. Because you deserve better, and you have more power to change it than you think. Have you ever sat in your lab or office, surrounded by people, but still felt completely alone? You nod, you greet, and then the silence kicks in. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and you start asking yourself, is this just how it is? If you're a master's or PhD student stuck in a quiet, distant lab environment, I see you. And in this video, we're going to talk about something we rarely discuss out loud: how to cultivate a better, healthier, more human lab or office atmosphere, even if no one else seems to care. This isn't about pointing fingers or complaining about your research group. It's about reclaiming something much deeper: your energy, your connection, your emotional well-being. And trust me, it matters. Because whether you realize it or not, the space you work in every day, the people you sit beside for hours, the atmosphere of your lab, it all plays a massive role in how well and how long you survive the graduate school journey. Let's start with the hard truth. Not every lab is warm. Not every team is social. Some research groups are just structured that way. Everyone works on different topics, maybe with different supervisors, and they operate like quiet islands under the same roof. People show up, do their thing, and leave. There's minimal small talk, maybe a polite hi in the morning, and that's it. And some advisors, they're just naturally more independent. It's not personal. It's just how they lead: direct, top-down, hands-off. And in this kind of setup, the silence doesn't feel intentional. It just becomes normal. No one's hostile, but no one's initiating either. And here's where it gets dangerous. You start adapting to that silence. You begin to believe that isolation is just part of academic life. And before long, even the most social, energetic student starts to shrink into themselves. That low-level emotional fog, that dull ache from not being seen, not being heard, not being connected, it starts to settle in. And I want you to know, you are not overreacting. This isn't just about being chatty or needing attention. This is about mental health. This is about emotional resilience. This is about the basic human need for connection. Graduate school is hard enough on its own. The pressure to publish, the deadlines, the uncertainty. Now imagine dealing with all of that in an environment where no one speaks, no one bonds, and no one checks in. That isn't just demoralizing, it's dangerous. Because emotional isolation, it compounds over time. You feel invisible, you lose motivation, and eventually, even your research suffers, not because you're incapable, but because you're human. And humans aren't meant to operate in silence forever. But here's the twist. In many of these cold or quiet lab settings, no one is choosing isolation on purpose. It's just that no one has chosen connection either. And that means something powerful. If no one's initiating, maybe it can be you. I know that might feel like too much. You're already juggling your own work. You're not a social coordinator. You don't want to come off as weird or intrusive. But listen, I'm not talking about forcing deep friendships. I'm talking about taking one small human step. One simple gesture that breaks the ice and opens the door. It could be something like, "Hey, does anyone want to grab lunch this Friday?" Or maybe, "I was thinking of doing a little potluck next week. Anyone want in?" These don't need to be elaborate. They don't need to be often. They just need to be real. And you'd be amazed. Once you make that first move, just once, you'll often find that others were waiting for permission to connect too. Because deep down, everyone wants to feel a little more human, even the quiet ones, even the focused ones, even the ones who never say a word. Here's the thing. Building a better lab atmosphere doesn't mean turning it into a party zone. It just means adding moments of warmth, of shared time, of realness. Here are a few ideas that are low stress, high impact. Start a monthly potluck. Everyone brings a dish, no pressure, just food and vibes. Set up casual lunch Fridays, even if it's just 2 people to begin with. Suggest coffee breaks once a week. A 15-minute reset with someone can build trust and break the ice. How about a shared Spotify playlist for the lab? Let people add their favorite focus songs. It's a small gesture, but it makes the space feel alive. Celebrate something, anything. Did someone just submit a paper? Did a conference talk go well? Even writing congrats on the whiteboard can lift the energy. And every couple of months, if you can, organize something fun. A little barbecue, a movie night, a game evening. Something off campus, something light. These are not just social events. They're emotional reset buttons. They help people open up, find common ground, and remind each other that, hey, we're all in this weird academic boat together. And when that happens, the energy in the lab shifts. Suddenly, you're not just a collection of individual researchers sitting in silence. You're a team, you're a community, you're a space where people feel safe, supported, and most importantly, seen. And let me tell you, the benefits go far beyond warm feelings. When people feel emotionally safe, they ask better questions, they collaborate more, they take more creative risks. A healthy lab environment isn't just nice, it's productive. It improves the research, it strengthens the group, and it protects the people. Now imagine showing up to work each day and actually feeling excited to walk in. You don't dread the silence. You don't feel invisible. You feel like you belong. That's the power of connection. And here's what's truly beautiful. Once you start, once you light that spark, it spreads. Soon, someone else is suggesting a group dinner. Someone's inviting others for coffee. Someone's breaking the silence without needing permission. It becomes a culture. And eventually, someone, maybe years later, will come up to you and say, "Thank you. That first potluck you organized, it made this place feel like home." So if you're watching this and thinking, "But I'm just a student, I can't change the whole atmosphere," you don't have to. Just change one moment. Start small. Start simple. But start, because even in the quietest, most isolated lab, one spark of connection can light up the room. And if you can be that spark, you won't just improve your own journey, we'll improve the lives of everyone around you. Grad school doesn't have to feel lonely. Let's make it human again. If this message struck a chord, don't just hit like and move on. Be the person who brings this conversation to life. Share it with your lab group. Drop a comment below. What's one thing you can do this week to shift the vibe in your lab? Set a reminder and actually do it. And if you're serious about creating a healthier, happier grad school experience, not just surviving, but actually thriving, then hit subscribe. This channel is for students like you. Real talk, real struggles, real strategies. You're not alone. I'll see you in the next one.